Hello, everyone. This is Dr. Abdullah Laghari from Department of English, Quaid-e-Awam University of Engineering, Science and Technology, Pakistan. I feel lucky enough to be the part of this conference on social psychology and humanities studies. So my talk is based on applied linguistics. Let me tell you something about applied linguistics, because applied linguistics is such a discipline that is concerned with language. Applied linguistics is, an emerging field in third world countries these days. But as far as the scope of applied linguistics in Europe is concerned, that's a very developed discipline. Applied linguistics is much needed. Uh, Applied linguistics that refers to the broad range of activities which involve solving language-related problems or addressing some language-related concerns. When you say applied linguistics, applied means it gives theories, practical aspects. When we implement those theories into our situations can be the classroom, our situation can be research. When the theories of applied linguistics are implemented, then it certainly leads to the solution of some problems, some practical problems, problems of classroom teaching, problems of classroom management, the problems of research. Applied linguistics focuses on numerous and complex areas in society in which language plays a role, because applied linguistics deals with practical approaches concerning the language. Now, this slide, it talks about the major concern of applied linguistics is to apply the findings and the techniques from research in linguistics and related disciplines to solve practical problems. I talked about the practical problems. The practical problems can be various. For example, one of the most practical problems is classroom teaching. And these days, the research is focused on classroom teaching, because in classroom, there arises many issues. For example, issues of classroom management, issues of learner response, issues of teacher-centeredness, issues of interactive teaching. There are so many issues. And the concern of an applied linguistic is to solve those issues. Besides, it deals with language for specific purposes, language policy and planning, and language and literacy issues. Now let's talk about the functions of applied linguistics. When you talk about the functions of, because applied linguistics is an umbrella term, and there emerge many fields in its domain. So the very first concern, the function of applied linguistics is to diagnose problems of language and provide their solutions. So what are the problems of language? Why languages die? Why languages change? Why languages, come to their extinct position or status? So these all concerns are concerned with applied linguistics, and it is the concern of an applied linguist to diagnose those problems and provide their solutions also. Number two, to recommend proper teaching methods and training to teachers. And it's again the domain of applied linguistics to deal with the professional development of teachers that we call teacher education, and to understand problems in language acquisition, because we see as a ELT a practitioner, yes, we most of the time discuss the problems in language acquisition. Why language acquisition does not take place? What are the problems in language acquisition? What are the barriers in language acquisition? To improve language acquisition, for example, when you talk about the second language learning and when you talk about the first language learning, certainly first language, it is acquisition. And when it comes to the second language, it is the learning. Again, a linguist can devise ways and methods to improve the language acquisition methods. And the number last is to provide the understanding about the nature of language, how language can be learned, what methods need to be introduced or adopted in order to learn language in an effective manner. Now let's talk about the need of applied linguistics. What is the need of applied linguistics? See, applied linguistics, since language is at the heart of human life, throughout history and across the world, people have used language to gossip and chat, play games, sing songs, tell stories, teach children, pass on information, remember the past. Through language, we can convey our message. Through language, we can express our feelings. It is language that stands as an effective tool for humans. Animals, they are without any language, see their status, see their position, and see their communication also. Because through language, human becomes a unique creature in the world. It's only because of language. When we talk about the scope of applied linguistics, since language is implicated in so much of our daily lives, there's clearly a large and open-ended number of quite disparate activities to which applied linguistics is relevant. So applied linguistics deals with language and education. Yes, how languages are helpful in terms of educating individuals, educating people, and then its concern is social linguistics. For example, how language takes place in a society, what changes language goes through, what dialects, what dialectical changes, and then phonetics and phonology, and how much significant phonemes, those sounds of a language are. And English for specific purposes, psycholinguistics, English language teaching. Now, I'm going to show you this picture. This will clearly tell you the core areas of applied linguistics. You can see here, yes, the core areas of applied linguistics are phonetics, phonology, morphology, syntax, semantics, pragmatics. When you talk about phonetics, phonetics is very much concerned with speech sounds, human speech sounds, and it is again applied linguistics that will help us to improve our English pronunciation. And phonology that deals with phonemes, because when you talk about English, there are some unique phonemes, for example, je, for example, th, for example, the, because these are the unique phonemes that we discuss in applied linguistics, and these are the core areas. And morphology, that is a study of words and syntax, how phrases and sentences are structured. Semantics, that is the literal meaning of phrases and sentences, and then it's pragmatics, which deals with the meaning in context of discourse. These are, the core areas of applied linguistics, and applied linguist is very much interested in these areas, because language as a whole, when we see language as a whole, for example, the language is very much concerned with sound, right, that we call the phonetics, and then it is very much, then it starts from the words that we call morphology or lexical studies, and then it's the how those words are grouped in sentences that we call syntax, and then what those words mean that we call semantics, and how those words mean differently that we call pragmatics. So these are, quite core areas of applied linguistics. Let's talk about these areas in detail. And these are very important, because these days the significance of applied linguistics is widespread, and these days even in English language teaching, applied linguistics and the theories of applied linguistics, they mean a lot in the sense research is more focused on these core areas of applied linguistics in humanities. Now, the very first thing, that is phonetics, that is one of the core areas of applied linguistics. Phonetics is actually a branch of linguistics that focuses on the production and classification of human speech sounds. The production of speech sounds looks at the interaction of different vocal organs, like lips, tongue, teeth, to produce particular sounds. For example, how the speech articulators are important. For example, when you talk about a sound, b sound, when you talk about a t sound, tip of the tongue is touching the teeth, b sound, p sound, both the lips are connected together, So these are speech articulators. In phonetics, there is a significance of speech articulators. And then phonetics is concerned with the study of human speech sounds. It enables EFL learners to improve their English pronunciation. Phonetics focuses the multiple aspects to improve EFL teachers and learners' pronunciations. Phonetics, that's a scientific study of human speech sounds. Scientific in the sense that it talks about, it deals with those sounds, with the articulation of those sounds, the way those sounds are produced, and the places it touches when the sound is made. These are very important areas in phonetics. And the next important core area of phonetics is syntax. Syntax is very much concerned with the formation of sentences when those words are joined together and they make a structure and well-formed structure, syntactically, grammatically, a correct, well-formed structure that is called syntax. Syntax refers to the rules that govern the way in which words combine to form phrases, clauses, syntax, and sentences. Syntax is the part of linguistics that studies the structure and formation of sentences. It explains how words and phrases are arranged to form correct sentences. Syntax is very important in the sense that, every word is meaningful. Unless those words are well structured, they cannot be, meaningful. In order to derive sense out of those words, these words tend to be produced in a proper arrangement or order. That proper arrangement, order, or formation is said to be syntax. A sentence could make no sense and still be correct from the syntax point of view as long as words are in their appropriate spots and agree with. Yes, the agreement of verb with the subject are words with each other, that's fine. But if it is not producing any sense at all, that syntactic structure can be meaningless. But again, syntactically, that can be right. Now, the next area, if the sentence is grammatically correct, and even then it doesn't give a sense. So what's the use of that sentence? So at least there has to be semantics. At least there has to be semantic relation of words with each other that we call semantics. At least those words should give meaning. For example, the semantic that deals with, that's again a field of linguistics which is concerned with the study of meaning in language. Linguistic semantics has been defined as a study of how languages organize and express meanings, because language are, mainly focused on meaning. Communication does not take place without meaning. Even sometimes verbal, and non-verbal gestures, non-verbal, communication becomes also meaningful through some gestures, facial expressions, body language, because it gives some sense or concept, and which is the domain of semantics. Linguistic semantics looks not only at grammar and meaning, but at language use and language acquisition as a whole. The next important branch of phonetics is pragmatics. Pragmatics deals with utterances, by which we will mean specific events, the intentional acts of speakers at times and places, typically involving language. Pragmatics is very significant in the sense because one word can give different meanings depending on the context it is used in. For example, semantics is, we say, literal meaning of a word, that we say the dictionary meaning of a word. But when it comes to pragmatics is not the literal meaning, it is the intended meaning, it is the referred meaning, right? It is, when we say, it is a connotative meaning that is associated with the society. For example, if I call someone, you're a dog, okay, a person cannot be a dog. You're calling person a dog because of his character. You are associating something to that person. In that sense, you are saying that, pragmatically speaking, because when he says you're a dog, for example, semantically it's useless, right? It's meaningless. But pragmatically it is meaningful, since it derives some sense or that depends on the context. So logic and semantics traditionally deal with properties of types of expressions and not with properties that differ from token to token, are used to use, or as we shall say, from utterance to utterance, and vary with the particular properties that differentiate them. Pragmatics is sometimes characterized as dealing with effects of context. Certainly, when word is used in a particular context, that context matters. Sometimes context changes the meaning of a word or meaning of an expression, meaning of an utterance entirely. So in that sense, pragmatics is very important, very important. Pragmatics is also, enhances the logical sense or argumentative sense of an individual, of a student. Our next important area of applied linguistics is social linguistics. Socio, that is concerned with the society. Linguistics, that's a study of a language in the society. That is a study of sociological aspects of language. So social linguistics is the descriptive study of the effect of any or all aspects of society, including cultural norms, expectations, context, and the way language is used, and society's effect on language. Certainly, languages do not stay same. So why are changes in languages? Why languages change? Why languages die? Why languages enhance? Why languages reduce? The answer of all these questions is only concerned with social linguistics. A social linguist can tell you, can answer all your questions, because society is, we say change is something that is permanent, right? And society is where change continuously takes place. As a result, what happens, because language is concerned with the individuals who are living in the society or who are the part of the society. So changes in the society, they certainly influence or have an effect on the languages also. That's why languages change. And sometimes in one language, there can be various dialects also, various subtle changes of syntactic changes, and sometimes it is structural changes, and sometimes it is pronunciation changes also. So these are again the concerns of a social linguist. It can overlap with sociology of language, which focuses on the effect of language on society. And then one of the most important areas in applied linguistics is ELT, English language teaching. These days, ELT has enhanced around the globe. Mostly scholars are moving towards English language teachers. They are opting for ELT, English language teaching. They want to be good at their teaching. They want to enhance their teaching skills. They are going for teacher education and professional development of their teaching skills. So ELT is concerned with pedagogy, how language teaching takes place and how language learning takes place. So ELT is that we say language teaching that explores the application of language alongside the current practice and developments in teaching and testing. When you say teaching and testing, testing is evaluation. Certainly, what you teach, it has to have an impact or effect on testing also. Whatever is taught in the classroom, that is to be assessed, right? That we say teaching and testing. So ELT, English language teaching, is an umbrella term. There are so many disciplines that emanate from this one. For example, English for specific purposes, okay, and then English for academic purposes. So English for doctors, English for teachers, English for engineers, English for cricketers. These are again, coming from ELT. ELT is an umbrella term. So you'll gain the skills and knowledge to design and produce materials for language lessons. Once you become an ELT practitioner, you'll be able to manage your classes, you'll be able to design the very authentic material for your students, you'll be able to make lesson plans, you'll be able to manage your classrooms, you'll be able to deal with the issues in the classroom, you'll be able to give equal time to all the students, you'll be able to manage the class very well, promoting backbenchers, giving responses to the middle students and the students sitting in front benches also. So ELT is such a field in which teacher grooms and promotes himself or herself in pedagogy. So again, that is the concern of applied linguistics. ELT possesses a very special position, significant position in applied linguistics. So that also develops analytical and critical thinking skills of their teachers also. So this talk was all about applied linguistics. Thank you very much for listening to my talk. I am always there for any questions. Thank you very much for listening to me.